Hi, everyone. So excited to welcome you to this artist interview that we're doing for API Heritage Month. My name is Avantika, and I am the Outreach and Training Program Manager at DVRP. Really excited to be having this conversation with Nahrin, who is joining us from New Jersey. Really excited to delve into and really learn about Nahrin. And I will get us started first by inviting you into maybe telling us a little bit more about yourself.
Of course. Hi, Avantika. It's nice to finally meet you. And I'm really excited for this conversation. Um, my name is Nahrin. I am a Bangladeshi born Canadian, mother of three. I don't know what to include in my introduction. I also have a lovely husband and a dog that is just going through the training, prolonged training. I'm also an advocate. I'm a sexual assault service provider at Manavi, a South Asian organization here in New Jersey. Um, I think I have covered it all.
I love it. I love that so much. There's so many aspects of you that are coming into the space, and one of them, and obviously the artist part doesn't really separate from all these other aspects of you, but we're really here to talk more about your art journey, and we're so excited for that here today. Um, and I think that's where I might get started with our questions.
Sure.
It's just a broad question around how you came into art, what inspired you to really get into painting and mixed media art.
Yeah, so I started painting actually in my early 20s.
Mm.
I remember I was going through a tough period in my life. I had lost a relationship. It's really hard on me and my family. So I just needed I believe a distraction and got myself registered into this it was like a 3 month in-person art class course lessons and I think I was living in Ottawa at that time, and I didn't even know what I was registering myself into. I knew it was the art class, and it was actually figure painting. I didn't even know what that was until I was in that class. So I just yeah, so it just started, my journey started from there. I learned my basics, the painting skills, very basic, from those courses, and ever since I just fell in love and with the process, and every few years I would revisit, like, because I was moving a lot. And then I moved to another city and took some courses with I believe another local artist in Montreal. And now that I am looking back, I think there was another period, dark period I was going through. So I was looking for distraction, and yeah, so it seems like it's a pattern of, yeah, now that I look back. So yeah, that was it. I just every few years I just revisited and then practice, and something I took on in my 20s actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. It's always really beautiful to hear about what actually draws people into art. And unfortunately, yeah, the story feels very common. I'm an artist too, and that's actually how I got drawn into art too, was um moving through some of the darkness, moving through some of that heaviness, right? And art is such a beautiful medium that calls to us. And something that I found really beautiful as you were speaking was about how you revisited it. There were different periods. It wasn't something that was linear. And
Mm.
I think like that's also really beautiful that sometimes these practices aren't as linear.
Yeah, life takes like life happens, and we get so busy with everyday things. So I for me, and I think you'll understand too, like it was like a self-care, or now that I look back, and like that was my way of coping and with the stress,
Yeah.
Um, and then it just once you get into it, the creation, the process, and the satisfaction of creating something, it becomes, for me it was at least, it was like I want to more, like, I want to keep doing it. And then it became like I would be going to art supply school, store, and act like a kid in a candy store,
Yes.
thing. And I'm like, oh my God. And it's just a dopamine. So I want more and more. And so I remember me feeling these feelings, over the years. And absolutely, it's been coping for me, a coping skill for me,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, definitely. That's so beautiful. I really loved the imagery of you being in an art store and acting like a kid in a candy store.
I'm
Um,
still like that.
I love that. I love that so much. Um, you know, as you're talking about your art, I'm also just really curious about like what, if you can share a little bit about your creative process, and also where you drive inspiration from.
Yeah, my creative process would be like I don't know, like maybe I draw inspiration from like anything. It could be like mm, seasonal change. Like right now it's spring, so I like to I'm painting flowers. It could be just a show that I watched, and then I was moved by the subject matter, and then I would paint about it. Um, and then also, like, if I find some, like, project, a meaningful project, and or have some, purpose, um, you know, purposeful, meaningful project, and then I delve into, painting, and then um, from buying the supplies to making sure that the theme is present, also revisiting it, finalizing it. Sometimes it's never finalized, but I'm sure you understand, like, we go back and repaint until we achieve until what we want to achieve. Challenges are there because something goes the other way, and then you hit the artist block. I don't know if that's a word. So that happens a lot with me, and so just I believe that's the process. Like, just
Yeah.
take a break,
Mm.
and come back to it, and revisiting, looking at it differently, fresh set of mind and eyes, and reapply what you want to gain that theme or expression, or what we're looking for to attain. And um, yeah, I think that's my process, and um, and inspiration can be drawn from anything. Right now, it's in my head right now. So I don't know if you watched the show in Netflix that everybody's talking about, Hiramandi.
Oh, I haven't watched that.
I'm obsessed right now. So
Okay.
yeah, so I'm painting on that. That's my current.
I love that. I've seen the visuals of it, and I can only imagine the beauty that you're going to create out of it. Really excited to see those pieces. But yeah, I think I really loved how you talked about both your inspiration and your process again bringing in that revisiting, right? That revisiting piece and that piece of like, all right, this is not a linear process and there are ups and downs.
Yeah.
And also inspiration, as you said, there's inspiration all around us. And yeah, I'm curious if it feels like this has also been sort of a mindful process then, because it's allowing you to notice things. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thank you for bringing that up because it is absolutely has been mindfulness based practice, right? For me, because our art, as you probably know, that has that effect on us, right? It's forcefully puts that, makes us in the moment, right? So when you are in the world of painting, like you are so engaged with it. So um, it's it's like a meditation, like it's mindfulness, and being in the moment. That's the only way for me has worked in helping with my anxiety, right? So that's the only way actually has been effective for me. Just when I paint, I'm able to be in the moment,
Yeah.
away from everything else. I don't know about you if you feel the same. Like when you paint, are you are you in the moment? Like, or has that how does how has that worked for you?
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much for asking me that question. I feel like for me, painting has been a very spiritual process. Like I feel like I feel very connected with things beyond me. Like I'm not particularly a religious person, but painting has allowed me to, I feel like, connect with source. And it's a very interesting process of being in the moment, but also being somewhere else. And I think it's inexplainable in words sometimes. And I'm curious if that resonates with you.
It does. It is definitely a spiritual process for me as well. And I also, because I get to reconnect with myself, right? It's
Mhm.
only me and my thoughts. That's the only time I can sit with myself and focus, on the self, because otherwise it's very difficult, to be honest. Like,
Yeah, as a mom of three,
oh my God, it's oh
advocate.
my God, it's the always yeah, and I want to show up for others. I love that. But we don't want to burn out. So reconnection with the self is so needed. It's part of self-care, and as you said, it's the spiritual connection. It's connecting to self. Um, and then yeah, this has been my experience as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that so much. Thank you so much. Like that just felt so beautiful. And I also feel really connected with you as we're speaking about this because meeting other artists, I feel like sometimes we're speaking the same language.
Yeah,
And
we understand each other's yeah,
yeah,
art language. Mhm.
yes, it's exactly as you said. It's like the heart language, and I think that it's really beautiful. And so we met through a project that DVRP did was a pandemic resource guide called Nutka Rose. That I had the pleasure of working with 12 different artists to bring in art to talk about the pandemic, which is a very difficult thing, right?
Yeah.
So we brought on art. You were one of the artists, and you shared some of the most beautiful work that I still just feel so honored to be able to hold and witness. And I'm really curious as to how you chose the paintings that you did to share with us.
Nutka Rose is such a beautiful project. Congratulations on that, Vantika.
Thank you.
And everything is so meaningful and purposeful about this guide. And I feel like so privileged to be part of this project. And the other artists, oh my God, yeah, this blew my mind when I'm just so proud of it, as you can feel. So the I when I found out about this project, and it just clicked. I had these paintings which I have done during COVID time, like when we're all inside, those period, like I think 2020. Um, and so this project just spoke to me. Because I had these pieces made during COVID time in 2020, and we're all at home, and so it reflects a lot of the fear and uncertainties that we talk about in the guide. So I felt like they were, they just spoke to that. Yeah, all those three pieces, I tried to achieve that, the expressions that show, fear and uncertainties, and at the same time, the need for healing. That was the theme, um, and I think it went with the topic of this guide.
Definitely. And the pieces were honestly just so beautiful, and the emotions that you had shared with the paintings, it was so palpable. So thank you so much for sharing yourself, your color, your work in that. Um,
Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you for keeping them. It means a
of
lot.
course, definitely. It was honestly such an honor. I know throughout, as we've been having this conversation, we've been talking about art, and we've been talking about art in relation to healing.
Mhm.
Um, so I would love to maybe talk a little bit about how you may witness art as healing, even
Mhm.
maybe not only for yourself, but also for your community. What does that look like in terms of community care as well?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons that I engage in it. Yes, I'm passionate about painting and artwork and all that. But it's also, I know that it has worked for me, that it allows me to engage in self-care, and yeah, which is mandatory for me because I'm working with a very vulnerable population. So if I don't, if I'm not engaged in healing process myself, how am I going to show up for the survivors that working, with? Also for my loved ones, and so art has been it has been like the central in my healing. It's ongoing, like I'm still um grieving the loss and all that, but it's an ongoing process, and this is the only way I can just, be with myself, be in the moment, like you said, and sit and reflect through the artwork and topic and all that, and connect spiritually.
Mhm.
Um, um, and also revisit, it allows me to revisit my values that are no longer working for me. So it's just so many things. Um, this process does for me. So for me, it's like very, very therapeutic. It's my therapist. And and it's been helping with my capacity building and maintaining uh, because the nature of our work requires a lot of we can this it's trauma, secondary trauma is very true, like it's valid, and it is. I feel it sometimes, and I'm sure we all do if we lack in our self-care department. So it's I that's how I believe my community that I'm working with is also benefiting that way, because when I'm, with my capacity, in maintaining myself in positive ways, and I'm able to cope better um, with those emotions that can be start up when we listen to other people's stories. Um, so I believe that's how my community members are benefiting through my self-care practices. And same goes for my loved ones, so I'm at my best, and my relationships are improving. I'm able to communicate better with my children, I have teenagers.
Yeah.
Also, and my husband feels that no, I'm more available, and so I think everybody benefits when I'm I'm painting. So if I put it
Love that. I love that so much. And that's such a beautiful way to look at how self-care and community care is intertwined, is about like how we take responsibility for ourselves. And for you, that means needing to paint, needing to connect with yourself in this way through the medium of art, and building that capacity. And I feel like I'm gonna think a lot about that. Something recently I'd heard of is like when we do healing work and when we're trying to work with ourselves, it's not to shut out all the bad things that are happening, right? It's to actually build our capacity to work through all the bad things that are happening. We can't shut ourselves out from the world. We
no,
need to just figure out how to navigate the world better. And I think like the way that you spoke about building that capacity really reminded me of that. And I thought that that was really beautiful. So thank you.
well, thank you for making the connection. It is true. Like there's always gonna be things. We live in real world and we're human. There are always gonna be things going on. But And self-care doesn't mean that you have to turn off everything. Self-care means, like, are you able to better prepare it to deal with these, what life throws at us.
Yeah.
And no, I like how I connected that.
Thank you so much. You are an amazing artist and as part of the API community, right? There are a lot of younger and emerging artists in this world, and especially API artists, right? What advice or encouragement would you give to emerging API artists or even just younger artists in general?
Yeah, no, no, thank you. It makes it means so much to me because I don't paint to gain like artist, to be in that caliber. Every time someone appreciates my work, which is so personal to me, yeah, I'm in cloud nine. But I would say that like, I don't cook. Some people love cooking and that's their artwork. And some people like to like the human connection and the going out and going out to kitty parties or dawats and all that. So that's how some people gain their energy, and that might be their self-care, right? I don't like cooking. I don't like hanging. I'm an introverted person. So I had to find a system that actually works for me. So this has been the system, and um, so I take it and I don't take it as like a work. I take it as like, something, a fun thing to, and to gain my energy and all that. So I'm not only passionate, and in creation, I require a lot of patience because the ups and downs, the challenges in the process. So we need a lot of patience, and also practice. Practice makes it better. I'm still practicing. So I think those three things, like passion and alone, it may not be enough, but uh, I have to be patient, and also just keep on working and creating. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, the consistency, needing to do it more. I resonate with that too. Just practicing, just creating. So yeah, I love that so much. And that's great advice to people. And something I also like to say is like, if you're creating art, you're an artist. So I also just want to remind you that like, you are an
Thank
artist.
you.
Um, and you're creating these beautiful, beautiful works. And so like in the same vein, like I'm really interested to know if there are any current or upcoming projects that you're excited about. I know you talked a little bit about painting about Hiramundi, but I'm curious if there are other things that you're painting right now that you're excited about.
Yeah, I know. I started painting early enough this year. So I know every December there's fundraising takes place and the organization I work for. I've done it in the past, so I am just adding new pieces for this year's fundraising. So um, I only have two pieces so far, but that's okay. It's not quality I'm looking for. It's quantity. Sorry, the other way around. It's not quantity, it's the quality that I'm looking for. So my goal is to have enough pieces to raise funds for the winter fundraising event.
I love that. Like that's also so giving. Like that's so beautiful. That, there is a connection with your work and then your art. And you have time till the winter. You can get more pieces in there. Like it works.
It's a revisiting thing, and it's this block thing and
Yeah.
challenges. Those all those are gonna be there too. This
I mean, and even if it's two, like that's beautiful too.
I'll keep that in mind.
Times. Like I get it for not being all that on it. But we will make sure to share your information with folks, if folks want to get in touch. But those were the questions I had today. Thank you so much for taking this time to have this conversation with me. It was really beautiful to get to know you, to get to know your art and how you come into the space. There's so much heart and so much emotion in your work, and I just feel really honored to have been listening and to have witnessed your work as well. So thank you so much for today.
Wow, Avantika, those are so kind words. And I wanted to thank you for giving me this chance and opportunity to talk about myself.
Course.
It's rare, but it's just it was wonderful talking about art with you. And hopefully we'll continue talking about it, going forward
Definitely. Thank you
that
so
way.
much. Yeah, thank you again so much. And we will make sure to share how folks can get in touch with you. But yeah, thank you. I will stop the recording now.